So, how are we all? Having a bit of a chair nightmare. Now, I've gone through, 3 chairs in the space of 3 months just because I can't get comfortable. Luckily, this entire bench, all of you who've been around for a while, you'll remember this will actually lift, so I'm able to stand. But hopefully, this next chair that turns up, which will be here in a few days, will finally bring that drama to a close. But let's get straight into the meat and potatoes. And by straight, I mean after about 42 seconds. What people are now starting to speculate. I was watching over on Plunder, their channel. Old Mooney, she's brilliant. Very good. If you haven't seen her channel, head over there. Like I say, Plunder. And they're talking about what could have really driven Bryan Kohberger to kill. And they're kind of looking at his past, bringing up things about bullying. In fact, he was bullying. He's sort of been bullied about his weight and things like that. And over the months and years leading up to this, he had gone through some drastic transformations in himself, lost a load of weight. And, you know, he went on this journey over to where he studied away from his parents, and there was apparently some worry in the background because of what he'd been through, this kind of what they've put down as trauma, and how he would handle, how he would settle. And people are speculating on whether, look, there's a possibility that Kohberger could have gone out on a date with Kaylee. That's not something that's been 100% confirmed. That's something that they're speculating is going to be this link that comes out later on, whether the parents are going to say, yes, she did indeed go out on this date. And maybe that's why Jack D is so kind of traumatized by it. Maybe he knows that they split and, you know, she then went and met this guy and maybe she saw something about him that just gave her the creeps, and the rest is history. And you know, that was enough to push this guy over the edge. But I don't know whether I can accept that. You know, bullying is horrible. Bullying is absolutely horrible. And people who bully, they sicken me. But you can't say that someone did something like this because they were bullied. You know, you can't really say that made them do this. You know, let's not forget what his choice of academia was. You know, he's studying about, you know, true crime, the way that the criminal system operates, but he's got no, as far as I'm aware, there's no kind of thoughts and feelings about joining the police force. I don't know what I just did to the mic there. That seems to have adjusted my sound. I apologise. But look, he did this heinous crime, and what did sort of push him over the edge? We've got another student who has worked alongside him who has turned around and said, leading up to this, he was seemingly always tired. He was the sort of skating on the edge of exhaustion and, you know, being powered by coffee. We've got another neighbour who said that she would be woken up by loud sounds in the night. It was as if that they would hear him using tools, power tools, and they'd be like, well, what is he doing? What is he doing? Who's that remind you of? For those of you who have been watching the Dharma stuff. Let's hope that we don't get any massive surprises there. But at the end of the day, look, this happened and he is prime suspect. And I'm now seeing some other bits and pieces come out that would look like there's a potential that he was indeed interacting with social media. There's a few accounts that I've been forwarded that does sort of look like whoever did this, that was potentially them, and it's all gone quiet on the Western Front since he got arrested, which, is that not a coincidence? You know what we say about coincidences. But yeah, what drove him to this? Drove? We'll go with drove, as that's English. But what drove him to actually kill? Was it the fact that he did get out on a date with Kaylee and she blew him off because she saw something in him she didn't like? And did he vow to exact revenge? Did he see that as his only attempt of getting into normality, that life that he'd watched through social media pictures and wanted to be part of so badly? And maybe that was just a trigger that flipped a switch in his head that made him just think, what's the point in trying, Bryan? You're never going to be part of this. And people like Jack D, people like Ethan, these are just people who, you know, they're people who you can only look at through pictures and be part of their life. You're not actually going to be able to be part of their life in reality. And the rest is history. Because let's not forget, he went to this house. Now, people have said, what did he do? These people have been out. These victims have been out and about. This white car was seen. And this is something that confuses me a little bit. Because they were out and about and that car was seen heading towards and heading away. But how did he know where they were? How did he know what time to go back to the house? Some people have speculated on whether he was already in the house. But he knew about their movements. He knew who he would likely encounter in that house. He knew how to get in there. So, you know, what was going through his head? If it's him. You know, we have no other arrests, but innocent until proven guilty. Someone pointed out, you know, at the end of the day, they have to have a fair trial. You know, it's better to let off two guilty people than condemn a good person, which I get that. But I'm trying to work out in my brain what would have driven him to do it, and I can't yet figure that out. Is this where the social media revolution is going? Is that where, when you pair bullying and issues growing up to watching what you want but can't quite reach on social media, and when they hit and you've got this non-moving object and this non-stoppable force, and this is the wreckage that it leaves. But what do you think did it? If it was indeed him, what drove him to do it? Was it really something as simple as FOMO? I'll catch you all in the next one.